I didn't have the people in my life that were supposed to be in my life, so I made some stupid decisions, dropped out of high school, homeless, living in abandoned buildings, eating out of trash can. So when I dropped out of high school and I started going to this church and let me speak, I picked up the mic. I was 16 years old, I picked up the mic. I'm not gonna say it was the best speech I ever did, but when I picked up that mic and got off that stage, I was like, yep, I can do it. You mean to tell me if I perfect this, I can eat and my kids can eat and my kids' kids can eat?
So it's a whole bunch of dudes that can run off in the mouth. They just didn't turn it into a PhD, a master's degree, a 4-year degree. They didn't hone their gift.
I found out I had a gift. I started thinking about what my mom need, what my sisters need. I could do that. Like, I could do that. And then when I found out I could make money doing it and I could take care of my family, I was like, showtime. Like, you only got one shot.
You are there, you're making the commitment, you're already in deep waters.
And I ain't making millions of dollars, but my gift is making room for me. Every time I get on 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm killing them. I'm killing them. Tony Robinson can't keep up. This how we eat. This ain't no motivational presentation. This how my mama eat right now. This how my wife never have to go to work again. Number one, I'm gonna be real with you. Number one, if you're gonna get it, you're gonna have to have that dog. You're gonna have to have that dog. You're gonna have to be that dude that say, I'm not just going with skill. That's like you came out, your parents, however the DNA happened, you just came out with those skills. You were born with that, right? You were born with that. You didn't do nothing to earn that.
So what I'm saying to you is you gotta be mature. And some of you are immature. Somebody just texted me a minute ago. It's like, yo, E, I always wanted to be the first one in my family to go to college. You know, I wanted to be whatever, you know. And so he was like, but I'm failing the class, you know, and I'm not doing as well as I thought I was gonna do. What do you think I should do? I said, what? Get help. What kind of question is that? We all have 24 hours. All right, what makes some of us average, makes some of us good, some of us great, is not the family you was born into. Right? It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with your socioeconomic status. It has everything to do with how you command your life. You still getting attitude. That means you're not an adult in that area. That means that particular area controls you. So if I'm talking to a 3rd grader, 4th grader, 5th grader, kindergartner, I don't care what I tell them, they're not at a place of maturity where they can switch their mindset. They're kids, you're grown. And some of you are grown, but you're still a child. And you brag about how you're an adult. You're only an adult because of your age. You're not an adult because you command your life. I heard somebody tell me they're not a morning person. What kind of foolishness is that? You're not a what? What does that mean exactly? You're not a morning person. What, you a child? What does that mean you're not a morning person? If I got to get up early in the morning and get the money, I'm a morning person. You acting like you indispensable. You acting like if something happened to you, they're gonna wait around for the next 2-3 years. Like your spot is just guaranteed.
What I'm trying to get you to understand is, when you understand you have an opportunity, you play a little different.
You don't know how many days you have left. You don't want to be wasting days. Like you're not God. Like you don't create. You can't wake yourself up. You don't know how many days you have left. You can't be playing with the days you have.
So here's the deal. When you have an opportunity, why would you give 80%? What would make you not give 120%?
You should be an ATM machine. You should be able to produce money. You shouldn't have to go to nobody to get money. You should be able to produce money on your own. You are walking ATM machine. When you were created with a gift. Now the fact that if you use it or not, that don't got nothing to do with nobody.
What I'm trying to tell you, this different, baby. This ain't high school. This ain't college. When you go to the pros, everybody you playing is a pro. I'm competing against everybody else in the world. I'm not mad at them, I'm not against them, but when you number one, you don't have to negotiate with your check. I remember when I was like number 25 or something, they would be like, okay, you got to fly here, you got to fly. Now I tell people how I fly. I tell people where I stay, where I don't stay. I earned the right to be here. I grinded to be here. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning the last 13 years. I ain't playing games. This ain't about like putting up something on YouTube. That's like an after effect. Because I grind so hard, I work so hard, that when I get this opportunity, like I don't play with it.
I became number one in the world. I became a millionaire not because I made more money. I became a millionaire because they told me millionaires only live off of 30% of their income. Then somebody said, E.T., if you want to be Tony Robbins, there's no way you'll be able to be like those dudes when you don't have the language they have. You need to go get your master's and a PhD. I don't need to be affirmed. I don't need your paper on my wall. I need your language, though, if I'm going to compete. I need your rules if I'm going to compete. I need your codes if I'm going to compete. The problem with most of you is you don't have a 1% language.
You got a poverty language. Some of y'all on Instagram, you're on there for 30 minutes. If I ask you what you saw, you don't even know. You're just scrolling through. That's a poverty mindset. You know, I realized the reason why I'm so successful and the reason why I don't get in trouble like I used to when I was younger is because when I was younger, man, my schedule had so many gaps in it. Rich people don't waste time. They realize it's their most important commodity. They looked at the most successful men and women of the world, and they found that they had like 7, 8 things in common. And one of the things they all had in common was a routine. They are obsessed with their routine. They don't have a gap of wasted time in their routine. So what you have to decide is, are you gonna keep being the 99% or are you ready to be a part of the 1%? Because it doesn't make a difference where you come from.
Like, yo, for real, I keep it optimistic, not because I'm stupid. Like, people be coming up to me like, E, you stupid. I'm not stupid. I could be negative just like you negative. There was no secret. You are where you are because you focusing on stuff you ain't got no business focusing on. You can't control that. I know how to talk negative. I was homeless too. My father wasn't in my life too. I've been in struggles too. But I've come to realize that when you think optimistically and you speak positively, you can speak those things which are not as though they were. You can say certain things out your mouth and make it happen. The human brain is phenomenal, and it can think like of a million and something different things, right? So if you are having a bad day or having a bad moment, it means you're probably focusing on what? Whatever that bad thing is, that's what you're focusing on.
I just want you to put some energy on your goals. All right? I want you to put some energy on your goals. This is why this is important, because if you know me, you know I have never been sponsored by nobody, but I'm still the #1 motivational speaker in the world. Like, for real, you ain't seen me on TV. Well, my brother just came up to me a minute ago, was like, yo, E, I noticed you do corporate work. Like, I see you doing your thing, and it's funny, E, that you don't dress up. Now, I don't not dress up because I'm trying to be a rebel. I don't. dress up because I want to be comfortable. But I'm so good at what I do, they don't even require a suit. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Some of us don't want to wear a suit, but you're not on that level though. Or you want to wear a suit and act as if your suit is going to compensate for what you are inferior at.
You got to be a morning person, afternoon person, night person. You got to be at home person, on the road person. You got to be when you feel good person, when you sick person, when you tired person.
And if something happens to you, I promise you, if something happened to you, as sweet as you are, you're going to be what? Replaced. Say it again. You're going to be what? That ought to scare you. That ought to scare you. That alone ought to make you wake up every day and say, I cannot afford to be replaced.
You're already in deep waters. You've already the water like it's up to your shoulders. It's already up to your throat. Like you're already in it. You're already there. You're past the feet. You're past the ankles. You're past the knees. You're past the waist. You're past the chest.
When you come out, what you got to do? You got to kill.
Each one of us, the things that you don't have control over is the things that's keeping you from being sweet. And at what point are you going to fight against that nature in you that you know? So if I was to ask most of you, you already know what your challenge is. You ain't dumb. You know what it is. You just don't fight it. And I'm challenging you to fight it.